Welcome. Today we are diving into sprint planning, a crucial part of the Scrum framework. In this session, we'll cover how to set sprint goals and select backlog items effectively. We'll explore three key areas: defining clear sprint goals, selecting backlog items, and estimating the effort involved in committing to what can be achieved. So, what exactly is sprint planning? Sprint planning is a collaborative event where the team determines what can be delivered in the upcoming sprint and how that work will be achieved. It's typically held at the beginning of each sprint. It is time-boxed to 2 hours per week of sprint. Also, it involves the entire Scrum team. Let's discuss about setting effective sprint goals. A sprint goal is a concise statement that describes the objective to be achieved during the sprint. What are the characteristics of good sprint goals? They should be specific and measurable, aligned with the product vision, provide focus for the team, achievable within the sprint timeframe, and add business value. For instance, an example sprint goal would be: implement the user authentication system to allow customers to securely log in and access their account information. Here are some tips for creating sprint goals. Collaborate with the product owner to ensure business alignment. Make it inspiring and meaningful to the team, and keep it simple and focused on a single objective. Now let's delve into selecting backlog items. The selection process involves several steps. First, review the refined product backlog. Second, identify items that align with the sprint goal. Third, discuss the implementation approach. Fourth, consider team capacity and velocity. Finally, commit to selected items as a team. When selecting items, consider the following criteria: alignment with the sprint goal. The item is properly refined and understood. Dependencies are identified and it fits within the team's capacity. Here are some common pitfalls to avoid: overcommitting to too many items, selecting items with unclear requirements, and ignoring dependencies between items. Let's explore capacity planning for sprints. Capacity planning is the process of determining how much work a team can realistically complete during a sprint based on available resources and time. Here are some factors to consider: team size and composition, sprint duration in days, working hours per day, time for meetings and other activities, planned time off or holidays, and historical velocity data. Let's consider a capacity calculation example. Suppose there are 5 developers, 1 tester, the sprint duration is 2 weeks, which equals 10 working days, and the working hours per day is 6 hours after meetings. Capacity equals team size times working days times productive hours. For the developers, it is 5 times 10 times 6 equals 300 hours. For the tester, it is 1 times 10 times 6 equals 60 hours. Thus, the total team capacity is 360 hours. Remember to adjust for planned time off, training, and other commitments. Next, we'll discuss estimating backlog items. Here are some common estimation techniques. Story points, which is a relative measure of effort, complexity, and uncertainty. T-shirt sizing using extra small, small, medium, large, extra large to indicate relative size. Planning poker, which is a consensus-based technique using cards with values. Voting, in which team members vote with dots on complexity scale. And affinity estimation for grouping similar items by relative size. Planning poker is a consensus-based estimation technique where team members use cards with values to estimate the effort required for backlog items. Here are some estimation best practices. Involve the entire team in estimation. Focus on relative sizing, not absolute time. Consider complexity, uncertainty, and effort. Use historical data to improve estimates, and re-estimate when requirements change. Now let's discuss breaking down user stories into tasks. Here's how to break down stories. Understand the acceptance criteria. Identify technical components. Create tasks for each component. Include testing tasks. Keep tasks small, 4 to 8 hours. Let's look at an example breakdown. User story. As a user, I want to reset my password so that I can regain access to my account. Here are some tasks. Create password reset request form. Implement email notification service. build token generation and validation, create new password form, write unit and integration tests. Now let's explore team commitment in sprint planning. Team commitment is the collective agreement by the Scrum team to deliver a specific set of backlog items by the end of the sprint. Here are some benefits of team commitment: increases team accountability, improves focus and prioritization, builds trust with stakeholders, enhances team collaboration, and creates predictable delivery patterns. Here are some best practices for team commitment. Ensure the entire team participates in planning, base commitments on data, not optimism, consider team capacity and velocity, account for unexpected work and impediments, and make commitments visible to the team. Remember, commitment is what transforms a promise into reality, as Abraham Lincoln said. Let's consider common sprint planning challenges and solutions. First challenge: poorly refined backlog. Backlog items lack clarity, acceptance criteria, or are too large to be estimated effectively. Solution: regular backlog refinement. Schedule dedicated refinement sessions before sprint planning to ensure items are ready. Second challenge: unrealistic commitments. Teams commit to more work than they can realistically complete within the sprint. Solution: data-driven planning. Use historical velocity and capacity calculations to make realistic commitments. Third challenge: lack of team engagement. Not all team members actively participate in the planning process. Solution: inclusive facilitation. Use techniques that encourage participation from all team members during planning. Here are the key takeaways from this session. Establish clear sprint goals. They should be specific, measurable, and achievable. Also, strategically select backlog items that align with sprint goals and can be completed within the sprint timeframe. Plan realistically capacity, considering team capacity, velocity, and potential impediments when planning sprint workload. Ensure collaborative commitment by the entire team participating in planning and collectively commits to the sprint backlog. As a next step, apply these sprint planning principles in your next sprint to improve focus, team alignment, and delivery predictability. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.